My name is Emily. I am 27 years old, and I work as a nurse in a small town. I've always loved my job because I enjoy helping people, but my life outside of work has been the real story. For 2 years, I was in a relationship with Jack, a photographer. Jack wasn't just my boyfriend, he was my best friend. We shared everything. He knew how to make me laugh after a long, hard day at work. He always supported my dreams, and I believed we had a perfect connection. Life felt steady, like I knew where I was going. Jack's job, however, required a lot of traveling. Sometimes he would leave for weeks, chasing exciting photography projects in different cities. I missed him when he was away, but I told myself that this was normal. After all, relationships aren't always easy, and I trusted Jack completely. One sunny afternoon, I decided to go for a walk in the park. It was one of my favorite places, quiet, peaceful, surrounded by trees and flowers. As I sat on a bench, soaking in the fresh air, I saw something that changed everything. Jack was sitting under a tree not far from where I was. But he wasn't alone. There was a woman with him, someone I didn't recognize. They were laughing together, and she was holding his arm. I froze. My chest tightened, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. Was I seeing this correctly? Could this really be Jack? I didn't confront him right then. Instead, I left the park quickly, my heart racing. My mind was full of questions. Who was she? Was she just a friend? Or was there something more? That evening, Jack came home. He looked as cheerful as ever, smiling as he kissed my cheek. He asked about my day, like nothing had happened. I tried to act normal, but my thoughts were swirling. At dinner, I couldn't hold it in any longer. "Jack, can I ask you something?" I said, trying to keep my voice calm.
Of course,
He said, putting down his fork. "Who is the woman you were with at the park today?" His smile faded instantly. He looked surprised, but also guilty.
Emily, it's not what you think.
He said quickly.
She's just a friend.
"A friend?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Why were you so close to her? Why didn't you tell me about her before?" Jack hesitated.
We met during my last trip.
He explained.
She's part of the team I've been working with. I guess I got too comfortable with her.
My chest tightened. "Jack, I trusted you. I believed we were building something real together. How could you hide this from me?" Jack's face softened.
I made a mistake.
He admitted.
I didn't mean to hurt you, Emily. You mean so much to me.
I didn't know what to say. His words felt hollow, like they couldn't erase the image of him with that woman. That night, I lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. I couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. Could I forgive Jack? Would I ever feel secure in our relationship again? For the next few days, I kept my distance. I spent a lot of time alone, walking in the park, writing in my journal, and talking to my best friend, Lily. Lily was furious when I told her what had happened.
"You deserve better, Emily,"
she said firmly.
"You deserve someone who will value you, not make you doubt yourself."
Her words stuck with me. I began to realize that I had been holding on to the idea of Jack rather than the reality of who he was. A week later, Jack came to me and said,
Emily, I'm sorry. I know I messed up. I want to fix this. Please give me another chance.
I looked at him, tears in my eyes. "Jack, I need time," I said. "I can't make this decision right now." For another week, I thought about everything. I thought about the happy moments we'd shared, but I also thought about how I had felt when I saw him with that woman. In the end, I knew what I had to do. I called Jack and asked him to meet me at the cafe where we had our first date. When he arrived, I could see the hope in his eyes, but I knew I couldn't give him what he wanted. "Jack," I began, my voice steady but full of emotion, "I love you, but I can't stay in this relationship. Trust is everything to me, and without it, I don't see a future for us. I need to move on." Jack looked heartbroken.
I understand.
He said quietly.
I'm so sorry, Emily.
As I walked away, tears streamed down my face. It was the hardest decision I had ever made, but deep down, I knew it was the right one. The months that followed were not easy. I felt lost at first, unsure of how to move forward. But slowly, I began to rediscover myself. I joined a painting class, something I had always wanted to do but never had time for. I started volunteering at a shelter on weekends, helping those in need. One afternoon, I decided to visit the local bookstore. As I was browsing through the shelves, I accidentally bumped into someone. "I'm so sorry," I said, looking up to see a tall man with kind eyes.
It's okay.
He said with a warm smile.
I guess we're both lost in the world of books.
His name was Lucas. He was a teacher, passionate about literature and storytelling. We ended up talking for over an hour in the bookstore cafe. It wasn't love at first sight, but there was something about him that felt different. Lucas and I started spending more time together. At first, I was cautious. I had built walls around my heart, afraid of being hurt again. But Lucas was patient. He never rushed me or pressured me. He made me feel safe, like I could be myself without fear. Over time, our bond grew stronger. 2 years later, Lucas proposed to me during a trip to the mountains. He knelt on one knee, holding a simple ring, and said,
Emily, you are the most amazing person I've ever met. Will you marry me?
Tears filled my eyes as I said, yes. Our wedding was small and intimate, with only our closest friends and family. It was a beautiful day filled with laughter, love, and hope for the future. A year after our wedding, we welcomed our first child, a baby girl named Sophie. Holding her in my arms for the first time was the most magical moment of my life. Lucas and I often joked that she had his eyes and my stubbornness. 2 years later, we had a son, Ben. Life was busy and sometimes chaotic, but it was also full of joy. Watching Sophie and Ben grow up reminded me of how far I had come since the days of heartbreak with Jack. Now, 10 years later, I am 37 years old. My life is full of love, laughter, and purpose. I still work as a nurse, but I've also started teaching part-time at a local college, sharing my knowledge with the next generation of caregivers. Sometimes, I think about Jack and that difficult chapter of my life. I don't hold any bitterness toward him. In fact, I'm grateful for the lessons I learned. Losing him taught me to value myself and to never settle for less than I deserve. Lucas and I have built a beautiful life together. Our home is filled with books, art projects from the kids, and the smell of freshly baked cookies on weekends. We're not perfect, but we're happy. When I look back at my journey, I realize that every challenge, every heartbreak, led me to where I am today. Life isn't about avoiding pain, it's about learning from it and growing stronger. If I could speak to the Emily from 10 years ago, the one sitting on that bench in the park, I would tell her this: you are stronger than you think. This pain will pass, and one day you will find a happiness greater than you ever imagined. Now, as I sit in our backyard watching Sophie and Ben chase each other under the summer sun, I feel a deep sense of gratitude. Life has its ups and downs, but it is always worth living fully. The past doesn't define me. What defines me is the love I've found within myself and the life I've built with the people who truly matter. And this, I believe, is the greatest gift of all.